Welcome to Tech and Taste. I'm Paisley. This show is all about uncovering the human stories behind Calgary's tech scene. We'll share the cool innovations, the people making it happen, and of course, some food along the way, so that you'll leave every episode thinking, I didn't know that was happening in Calgary. Today, our guest is Ian Hedgeland, managing partner at Jot Digital, a Calgary-based digital consultancy that helps companies bring their ideas to life through technology. In Ian's spare time, he likes to golf, spend time with his kids, and his Bernedoodle puppy. Welcome, Ian. I think our food's here.
Yes, I think it is too.
Ooh, today we have Teatro. Fun fact, Teatro is actually where I had my wedding reception.
Oh, wow. I don't know what this is.
It's gnocchi.
This is gnocchi? Okay.
And then this is the steak. I can't believe they sent this over. This is like a very nice steak. Why did you start Jot? So there's a ton of IT companies out there. You clearly saw a gap in the market. What does Jot do differently?
I think for us, we try to look more at the business problems that our clients have as much as the technology is equally important. Where I found in the past when I was hiring other IT companies to help us in my past roles was they were more concerned about the technology. They really didn't understand our business at the end of the day and the problems that we're trying to solve. So, the vision I had for Jot was actually to help understand clients' challenges and help translate that down to solutions.
So you're kind of like a tech translator.
A little bit like a tech translator.
Okay, this food looks amazing. Should we start with the carrots? Should we get our veggies in first?
Yes, let's do that.
Charcoal roasted carrot salad with sunflower tahini, harissa vinaigrette, mint, hazelnut, and sunshoots. Delicious. I love roasted carrots. Oh my God.
That's really good.
Those are amazing. And so what does Jot do? Like, what kind of services do you offer?
Yeah, we offer a whole variety, everything from like application modernization, so taking old 20-plus-year-old actually legacy apps, we modernize them, we bring them into the cloud a lot of the time, so typically they run cheaper, quicker, and a lot more reliable in the cloud. And then another part of our business is cloud itself, so we work with all the different hyperscalers, your Microsofts, your Amazons, and your Googles. We work with some fairly large clients in that area where we do a lot of cost optimization. When these large oil and gas companies are spending actually millions of dollars a month on cloud.
Millions of dollars a month.
Millions of dollars a month. I know it's crazy how much they can be spending.
So it sounds like some of your clients are like the big oil and gas companies.
Oil and gas,
that
actually midstreamers, that people know.
And so what kinds of things, like what services cost millions of dollars a month? Can you tell us a little bit about what that actually looks like?
What services? Everything from storage costs to just compute. A lot of the times they don't even know what they have in the cloud. It's just they have this huge inventory of, compute, storage, just everything, you name it.
So it sounds like over the last, 20 years, they've probably been piecemeal building different parts of their infrastructure. And when technology's been built for 20 years, there's going to be some really old legacy stuff that's probably not optimized. And that's kind of where you come in?
Well, it's not even over 20 years in the cloud. I guess for the cloud, they've only been in the cloud for a few years, but they haven't really understood how to use it. And it's been quite ad hoc. The way it's been put in, there's not been a lot of process, actually a lot of the time. So it's more around cost control, in terms of our cloud practice and cloud automation. So like automating when to turn, applications off. We don't have to run applications over the weekend.
Right.
We won't have to run
those are so obvious, but
yeah, but it's one of those things that are always on. Even just having an inventory of them, understanding what they're actually running in the cloud. You'd expect that to be obvious, but a lot of the time it's not obvious.
Yeah, that's really interesting. It's like those little things that should be obvious, but sometimes you can't see it when you're so deep in, or you don't even have time to do some of that work when you're so busy on your business objectives. And for all of you that don't understand cloud infrastructure, let's break it down. When people talk about the cloud, it sounds like something floating up in the sky, but really what it means is that your software lives online instead of actually physically on your own computer. And now here's where it gets a little bit confusing. Even though we might think of cloud as completely virtual, it still has to live somewhere physically. Every app, website, and piece of software that you use lives physically on a server somewhere, which is a big, powerful computer that stores and delivers data. And this is where hosting comes in. Hosting is the service that connects those physical servers to the internet, kind of like the utilities that power your house. You can build the house, but without water, electricity, or internet, it's not really livable and it's not connected to anything. Hosting makes sure that every one of those digital homes online is connected and powered. Back in the day, companies used to keep those servers at their own offices. This was called on-prem. The issue here was that those machines were not only very expensive, but limited. If you ran out of space or computing power, even if you only needed a tiny bit more, you had to buy a whole new one. The cloud changed that. Now, instead of owning and maintaining your own hardware, you can now rent computing power, storage, and services from companies that do hosting, like AWS, Google Cloud, or Microsoft. Doing it this way is much more flexible. Need extra computing power during the weekdays? You can scale up. Quiet on the weekends? You can scale down. This allows you to use the exact amount of services that you need instead of paying for one size fits all. It's actually millions of physical servers working together around the world in one connected network. These servers are scaled, secured, and connected and power everything that we do online. Okay, so I'm a big Taylor Swift fan, and I think we all are a little bit salty at Ticketmaster, collectively in the Swiftyverse, for what happened over the last couple of years. So I hear you have a very big festival as a client, and you manage all of their ticketing. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a very large client that has a large music festival in April in California.
Oh, I wonder who that could possibly be.
On the Taylor Swift thing, that's just one of those things. When the cloud goes down, something happens. All of a sudden, people are angry that they can't buy their tickets online. And we had a very not similar, but we had something when we were helping our client out with a ticketing on sale. The whole system crashed, went down. However, it was a totally different user experience in our thing. In our case, is the system was able to recover, and the 12,000 people or so that were waiting in line online, to purchase their tickets, actually kept their spot in line.
That is amazing.
So huge.
Ticketmaster, take notes. Hire John.
Huge, the disaster diverted in that case at the end of the day. But again, you don't hear about that. You only hear about when it does go bad.
Are we ready? Let's have some of the gnocchi.
Let's try it.
The gnocchi. It comes with marinated mussels, sun-dried tomato, and sweet drop pepper. I know this is a silly comment, but I'm always surprised that gnocchi is made of potato. It tastes like pasta.
Oh, it does. And I like how this one's been fried a little bit more.
The mushrooms on it are really good.
I'm all about the clams too. Actually, I've never gnocchi and clams before.
Gnocchi and clams, new thing. Yeah, this is really, really good. I'm such a pasta girl. All I want is pasta. Oh, 10 out of 10 for me on the gnocchi.
Yeah, it's really good.
So I know before Jot, you had worked in some other large energy companies. You've worked in these big data projects all around the world. And it sounds like there's millions of dollars on the table for some of these projects. Do you have any crazy stories of things that have happened while you've been on some of those job sites?
Yeah, it's just interesting when you go to these developing nations and everyone knows who you are. You fly down and you're going down for a deal that's worth $100+ million, and you got a lot of people locally that actually know who you are. From matter of fact, I remember us going into an unplanned meal. We went to like a restaurant, and the owner of the refinery there, because we were doing some work around refining, actually offered us the operator manual for the refinery for I want to say like $20,000 or something like that. I can't remember the exact thing, but they thought that would help us actually win the deal.
So just like a lot of corruption.
Yeah, just very interesting. You go to these places and expect people not to know who you are, and everyone seems to know who you are.
You have like a big target on your back almost.
Yeah, you do a little bit. So it was just like interesting story there. Yeah, we didn't have security. We just had local guides actually.
Oh, wow.
We probably should have had full security.
Yeah, no kidding. What was your favorite food that you had in Ecuador?
That would have been Agostina, actually.
What's
it's a big, almost like a prawn.
Ooh.
It was like a fried prawn.
Delicious.
Yeah, it was probably the best.
So AI is obviously the hottest thing in the tech world right now, and I know Jot does a ton of digital transformation and AI projects. Can you tell me about what that looks like?
Yeah, we try to incorporate AI pretty much into every project. Right now, we're doing a few really interesting ones. One of them is around actually pressure washing with a robotic arm, large oil and gas tanks. We're using a computer vision model on that one to basically detect where the gunk in the tank is and to spray the gunk. So that'd be kind of a cool project here.
So it's like a robot that can see.
It's a robotic arm that has a camera,
and it can visualize.
It will be able to.
It will be able to
see the gunk. Yeah.
That's kind of like a computer vision project, but also automation on the hardware side.
Yeah, so it hooks into hardware. It'll be most likely run on an NVIDIA chipset, so powered by NVIDIA. We hear it in the news all the time as it comes to AI.
Yeah.
And just incorporate AI in general into that one.
That's really cool.
And then, we just incorporate AI into everything from our application development. We have our own proprietary tools as well called Jot Labs.
From an AI development perspective, I know there's a lot of cost associated with that, and that kind of ties into what you were talking earlier about around cloud infrastructure. I think what people don't realize is that some of those AI coding tools, they're actually using quite a bit of compute power. Is that accurate?
They are, yeah, I would say they are. One of, the pillars of actually getting into AI is going to also be cost management. We don't see a lot of that right now because they're not heavily utilizing actually AI, but as AI grows in these large corporations, it's going to be, quite expensive. Not building all these new actually data centers for AI, specifically all for free. So there is a business model where, I can definitely see AI costs in corporations actually ramping up quite a bit.
And so when people think people are going to lose so many jobs for AI, there's actually still costs associated with AI. So there is a little bit of an optimization where you have the right amount of people using the right amount of technology, and that's when you're the most efficient.
Well, there is, and I don't ever see AI as replacing people. Like, I just see it as, we take a project, a development project, and we break it up into 800 steps. And AI is not going to go from step 1 to 800. You still need a person there to guide it step by step through the process. Just the developer's not writing the code, they're essentially checking the code.
And every project's so different that agentic AI can kind of make some of those decisions, but there's so many variables when working with a real customer. And that's kind of what you were talking about when you said Jot really focuses on the business problem. When you're focusing on the business problem, there's not going to be just clear steps that you can follow every time because every business is so unique.
Totally, I would say that. I would say we, as much as we'd love to have a process that we could apply to every single client, it's extremely hard to apply the exact same process to every client.
Yeah, and that's what AI is good for, repeating the exact same process, not always understanding the differences. Okay, so we are on to our main course. I am so excited. Beef strip loin accompanied by palm puree, mushroom francesca, and peppercorn jus. Fun fact about me, my father is a cattle rancher, and about 10 years ago, I went vegetarian and told him, and he put the most giant steak I've ever seen in front of me at his house and said, "You eat this right now. No daughter of mine is going to be a vegetarian," and I've never looked back.
It's really good.
Amazing. So cloud infrastructure is a huge buzzword. We hear that all the time, but tangibly, what is cloud infrastructure and why does it matter?
Yeah, I guess cloud infrastructure, you can break it down to a few of the basic building blocks. It's really storage in the cloud. So that's where we put our data, and compute. So that's the actual processing, that's the computer power in there, and everything is essentially built on actually those two key pillars at the end of the day. There's a bunch of other stuff around actually networking and security as well, but the core to that is both compute and storage. So how it's used in business, it allows companies to scale at the end of the day, because right now a lot of companies are in data centers. They have to pre-purchase a server or a cluster of them, and they have to plan. So they have to understand how big those workloads are going to be. They have to pre-buy the computer. Understanding that, where cloud is pretty much pay as you go, and you can turn it off and on, whenever you want. Where if you've purchased a lot of hardware on premise in a data center, you're stuck with that hardware right now. But the cloud, you can make it go away tomorrow.
And so when people talk about infrastructure being very expensive, or, all these mistakes that you can make, and like you even pointed to, people are way overspending. Why is that?
A lot of people understand traditional hardware and how it works, but then moving to the cloud, they apply very traditional methods or just understands about how the cloud works. So they're taking something in a data center and they're moving it over one for one in the cloud. And that's actually not a very good use of the cloud. At the end of the day, you would want to break it down to what's actually running on each machine and having that individually running in the cloud rather than still running in a virtual machine in the cloud. So that's typically how you would see a lot of cost optimization when you would actually typically break down those applications and what they call containerizing them. So they run in their own environment. You can turn them off and on individually in the cloud rather than turning off the whole machine. And you can give it as much compute as you want, as much storage as you want. You can scale up, you can scale down. So that truly is actually the power of the cloud. It's the ability to scale when needed. And that's typically where they fail, where they just move everything over as it is and on-premise. However, you lose the ability to scale when you do it that way.
Amazing.
It's really good.
Thank you so much for sharing this amazing meal with me, Ian. What are we going to rate Teatro?
I would give it an 8.7. And again, I never give 9s. So this
okay. So that's like as top as it can get in your
pretty
books.
much.
I'm going to give it a 9.8. Honestly, the meat was so good, and I'm just such a big pasta lover. This was probably my dream meal. Huge thank you to our partners and guests for making this episode possible. First, thank you to Neo Financial for partnering with us to showcase some of the amazing local food merchants in their network. Neo has partnered with over 10,000 businesses across Canada to bring cardholders exclusive cashback offers, with rewards of up to 15% cashback just for supporting local. A special thank you to Jot Digital for helping to make tech and taste happen. Jot is a Calgary-based digital consultancy that helps companies bring their ideas to life through technology.